Thanksgiving 2024, just outside Austin, Texas. The sky over Lake Travis had just bled from violet to black when the smell of pecan wood smoke rolled into the Harper house. A long table draped in red and white checkered cloth was loaded, a 24-pound golden turkey, butter-drenched mashed potatoes, and a tower of cornbread that could feed a small church. The men's laughter drowned out the TV broadcasting the Cowboys-Commanders game. Cole Harper, 33, sun-bleached hair buzzed high and tight, stood at the head of the table in a Carhartt shirt worn untucked, raising a Lone Star like he was still giving speeches in a frat house. Yo, everybody, let's raise a glass to the pride and joy of the Harper family, still finding herself at almost 30. His four buddies, Tyler, Mason, Bryce, and Logan, all mid-level sales guys at HarperForge, roared, slamming the table so hard Diane's wine glasses rattled. Avery, Tyler wiped beer foam off his lip. Bro, your sister's probably on her 100th Starbucks application by now. Way past that, Cole smirked, eyes glittering with booze and smugness. Big sis is a digital nomad now. Nomad means unemployed, right, boys? They howled. Mason pretended to type on an invisible keyboard. Thank you for your application. Sorry, no real-world experience. Diane, 58, bottle blonde, pearl necklace the size of marbles, covered her mouth and giggled. Cole, stop teasing your sister. Avery's just in a transitional phase. The way she stretched, transitional phase, made it clear everyone understood it as polite Texans are long-term unemployed. Rick, 61, retired oil field engineer, sat at the far end carving the turkey in silence. He only shook his head, the classic quiet Texas dad move, but tonight the shake carried exhaustion more than protection. Avery Harper, 29, had been silent the entire meal. Black hair in a low ponytail, oversized gray sweater, no jewelry, no lipstick. She was the only one at the table not drinking beer or wine, just an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the kind with real sugar you only find in Texas. She smiled. A small, even, almost polite smile. Then she raised her Dr. Pepper like she was toasting them back. Cheers, everybody, she said softly, barely above a whisper, but it was enough to freeze the table for half a second. Thanks for caring so much about my career. Cole opened his mouth, but before he could fire back, Avery was already standing, chair scraping lightly across the oak floor. I'm full. Y'all enjoy the rest. She walked past Cole's chair. His heavy cologne hit her like a wall. Cole laughed loud, slapping Bryce on the shoulder. See? Told you she'd get sensitive. Avery didn't look back. She passed the narrow hallway lined with old photos. Cole in his Lake Travis quarterback uniform, Cole with the MVP trophy, Cole pretending he graduated A&M. He dropped out sophomore year. Not a single picture of her, except a tiny framed UT Austin diploma shoved at the very end. She slipped into her childhood bedroom, closed the door without a sound. In the dark, only the orange glow of the street light leaked through the blinds. Avery sat on the edge of the bed, opened her phone. New message from her COO, Sarah Mendoza. Board just greenlit tomorrow's termination plan. Severance packages and security escorts ready. Need your final sign-off. Confirmed. Execute at 9 a.m. sharp. She locked the screen, leaned back, stared at the ceiling still covered in glow-in-the-dark stars she'd stuck up in 6th grade. In her head, a single sentence scrolled like the marquee outside Darrell K. Royal Stadium. All 5 of them just signed their own termination letters. And tomorrow, I'm going to hand-deliver them. Outside, Cole's laughter rose again, drowning the football announcers. Avery closed her eyes, breathed in the lingering scent of oak and Thanksgiving spices. She smiled once more. This time, it wasn't polite at all. Tomorrow, the real feast begins. Summer 2009, Lake Travis High Football Stadium, suburban Austin. The floodlights blazed like daylight. The stands were packed with red and black, everyone screaming one name. Cole! 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 17-year-old Cole Harper, 6'2", blonde hair plastered with sweat, had just thrown the game-winning touchdown in the state semifinals. The stadium exploded. Diane stood front row, oversized sunglasses at 10 p.m., waving a hand-painted sign. "That's my boy, #12. Rick stood beside her, quiet as ever, but a rare grin cracked his sun-leathered face. Up in the nosebleed section, 14-year-old Avery Harper sat hunched in an oversized gray hoodie, clutching an ancient Dell laptop. She'd just finished the final code for her first robotics regionals project. Nobody noticed her. That was fine. She was used to it. 3 months later, her robot took first in state at San Antonio. The local paper ran a tiny article on page 7B. Lake Travis teen wins state robotics championship. The team photo hid Avery's face behind a taller boy's arm. She excitedly showed her mom the clipping. Diane glanced, smiled gently. "So proud of you, honey." Then folded the paper and set it on the stack of old newspapers under Cole's 20 by 30 framed MVP photo smack in the middle of the fridge door. No new picture went up. When Cole earned a full-ride football scholarship to Texas A&M, the Harpers threw a massive backyard barbecue. Neighbors, coaches, half the town, almost 100 people. Diane hired a live band, hung Aggie flags everywhere. Rick, for the first time in his life, cracked open a case of Shiner Bock instead of Lone Star. When Avery got her full-ride academic scholarship to UT Austin, top public university in the country, $280,000 over 4 years, Diane's only comment was, "Oh, that's wonderful, honey, and so close to home. Just remember to find a nice husband after you graduate. Boys need to be great. Girls who are too great sometimes scare the good ones away." The words were soft, but they cut deep. Freshman year, Cole flunked out of A&M because College Station didn't suit him. He moved home, slept all day, partied all night, bounced between sales jobs and unemployment. Every time Cole lost another job, Diane cried, Rick sighed, and the entire Harper universe revolved around fixing Cole's feelings. Avery watched from a distance. She studied by day, coded by night, won hackathons, built her first app in the Dobie Center dorm. She never told them, not out of humility, but because she had learned a cold truth. In this house, her success was never measured on the same scale as Cole's. His victories were celebrated with fireworks. Hers only made Mom worry she'd end up unmarried. In 2017, at 22, Avery and her 2 dorm mates landed a $750,000 seed round from Capital Factory, Austin's biggest startup incubator. They named the company HarperForge. Avery deliberately used her mother's maiden name so no one would connect the dots. The night they signed the term sheet, she called home to share the news. Diane listened, paused, then asked, "So when are you going to quit all that computer stuff and settle down? Cole just broke up with his girlfriend and I'm heartbroken." Avery hung up, sat on the floor of her 1-bedroom in East Austin, watched the pink Capitol lights glow in the distance. That night, she made a vow that would shape the rest of her life. "From now on, no one in my family will ever know what I'm doing, how much I'm worth, or how far I've gone. I'll build my empire in the dark. And I'll step into the light only when I'm ready, on my terms, in a way none of them can ever deny." She whispered to the empty room, ceiling fan whirring overhead. "One day they'll have to look at me differently, or they'll never get to look at all." She shut off the light, opened her laptop, and started typing the first lines of HarperForge code. East Austin, October 2018. An old garage on East 6th Street still smelled of motor oil and rotting cedar. Outside, it was 100 degrees. Inside, it was hotter. 3 ceiling fans spinning uselessly above 4 screaming laptops. Avery Harper, 23, sat cross-legged on an upside-down case of Shiner Bock, hair in a messy top knot, wearing a faded UT Austin tee. To her left, Lynn Tran, ML specialist, former dorm mate. To her right, Mateo Ochoa, infrastructure, also dorm mate. All 3 had just quit cushy jobs at Indeed to go all in on a crazy idea, construction project management software that could auto-detect delays and predict cost overruns with over 90% accuracy. They named it HarperForge. Avery deliberately used Diane's maiden name instead of Walker so her family would never trace it. When Lynn asked why not something cooler like BuildFlow or Construct IQ, Avery just smiled. The plainer the name, the better. I don't want anyone Googling me. First week, they registered a Delaware LLC for $90. Avery paid a registered agent in Wilmington so the company address would never point to Texas. On Crunchbase, the Founders section read only Team of 3 UT Austin alumni. No names, no photos. Company LinkedIn leadership page, blank. Avery even created a dummy email, admin@harperforge.com, for contracts, while her real one was Avery at HarperForge. Nobody noticed the different domain. 6 months of instant noodles and 2 a.m. Whataburger runs. Then the miracle. July 2019, D.R. Horton, second largest home builder in America, was bleeding millions on a delayed project in Georgetown. An old engineer saw HarperForge's demo at Austin Startup Week and forwarded the link. 2 weeks later, Avery, thick glasses, hoodie, sat in an Arlington conference room pitching 12 old men in Wranglers and dress shirts tucked into jeans. They signed a 6-month pilot for $180,000. First 6-figure revenue. Word spread through Texas construction like wildfire. Lenner, Perry Homes, Pulte followed. In 2021, when Tesla broke ground on Giga Texas east of Austin, they needed software to track 1,200 subcontractors and 40,000 workers a day. HarperForge won the bid, $7 million a year. Money poured in. Series A, $8 million from Capital Factory and Austin Ventures. Series B, $35 million led by Tiger Global. October 2024, just 6 weeks before Thanksgiving, HarperForge closed Series C, $75 million at a $1.2 billion valuation, led by Andreessen Horowitz and Sequoia. TechCrunch headline: HarperForge, the stealth unicorn of construction tech, raises $75 from A16Z and Sequoia. Illustration: just the logo, an orange hammer and flame styled like a longhorn, no founder photos. Comments: who the hell is behind this company? Ghost founders? While Austin buzzed, the Harper family 30 minutes away had no clue. Diane only knew her daughter did something with computers downtown. Cole bragged everywhere that he'd just been promoted to senior AE at a hot construction tech startup, HarperForge, 6 figures plus commission, free beer Fridays. He had no idea every time he bragged, "My company's about to raise big," he was bragging about his little sister's empire. On the 32nd floor of the Frostbank Tower, Avery had a windowless room no one entered except COO Sarah Mendoza and one lawyer. Employees called it The Forge. Inside, 2 34-inch monitors, a whiteboard covered in org chart scribbles, and a single-framed photo. The 3 of them in that 2018 garage. Avery in the middle, grinning ear to ear, raising a Dr. Pepper like a championship trophy. Every time she looked at that photo, she remembered her 23-year-old promise. When I'm ready, I'll step into the light. Not for praise. To remind them I never needed their validation. Outside the window, Austin's light stretched like a sea of stars. HarperForge had become Texas's quiet unicorn. And Avery Harper, nameless, faceless founder, was waiting for the exact moment to let the world, and especially her family, know exactly who she was. March 2023, the Harper house shook again with Diane sobbing. Cole had just been fired for the 5th time in 3 years, this time from a heavy equipment dealership in San Marcos. Official reason? Missed quotas. Real reason? He spent Friday afternoons at Rainy Street bars instead of cold calling. Diane collapsed onto the brown leather sofa, clutching a framed photo of Cole in his high school quarterback uniform, tears streaking her Chanel foundation. "Avery, you're my only hope," she choked through FaceTime. "You work at that big tech company, right? Ask your boss to find something for Cole." "He's almost 33. He can't keep doing this." Avery sat in the Forge on the 32nd floor, staring at the photo Diane had attached. Cole smoking on the porch, looking defiant. She was silent 10 seconds, then typed, "I'll see what I can do, but he has to apply himself. Don't tell him I'm involved." Diane agreed like a drowning woman grabbing a rope. 3 days later, a resume hit HarperForge's ATS. Cole Walker Harper, 10-plus year sales experience, ready to crush it in Austin. Avery had engineered perfect fairness. Cole's CV went through the same pipeline as thousands of others. No flags, no internal notes. First-round interviewers, Sarah Mendoza and the Southern Region sales VP. Neither knew he was the founder's brother. Avery watched behind one-way glass, headphones on, silent. Cole strutted in wearing a slim-fit gray suit, tie loose, Creed Aventus thick in the air. He grinned too wide, handshake too hard, launched into stories about that 1 month I sold 42 trucks in Round Rock, dealership record. He added, "Heard y'all are scaling fast. You need someone with connections like me." He was hired after round 2, $135K base plus commission, senior account executive. Offer letter landed Friday 6:12 p.m. 5 minutes later, Diane was video calling Avery, sobbing and laughing. "My baby girl is the best. I knew you loved your brother." Cole moved to Austin the next week, rented a 1-bedroom in the Domain, 7 minutes from the office. First day, he wore a denim button-down and $1,200 Lucchese boots. Walked into the 28th floor open space like he owned the place. Week 1, he'd already befriended the entire sales floor by buying rounds at Friday happy hour on the company card, which was actually Avery's. He brags, "I've got connections upstairs, boys. Big things coming." Nobody asked who. They just clinked cans. Week 2, he earned the nickname Golden Boy. He loved standing by the pantry, recounting his A&M glory days, embellishing that, "If it wasn't for that injury, I'd be in the NFL right now." Whenever someone mentioned the mysterious founder, Cole shrugged. "Don't worry, I know the top brass. 1 word from me and it's handled." In the Forge, Avery watched pantry security footage, volume low enough to catch every word. She didn't laugh, didn't rage. She simply opened a Google Doc titled Cole Observation Log and typed the first entry. 4/12/2023. Started bragging, "I know the top guys." Still doesn't know the top guy is his little sister. She saved the file, shut the laptop, looked out at the glowing Darrell K. Royal Stadium in the distance, the kingdom Cole once ruled. He still thought he was king, only the arena had changed. Avery whispered to herself, "Keep believing you're on top, brother, until you realize this entire building sits on the foundation I poured." She hit save, stood, turned off the light. Down on 28, Cole was still loud in the pantry, oblivious that every boast was carving another line into the indictment his sister was writing, one quiet keystroke at a time. 28th floor, Frostbank Tower, Austin, July 2024. The AC blasted, but the air still felt thick and 105 degrees. In the sales corner, 5 men in untucked shirts and jeans clustered around a ping-pong table, roaring every time someone missed. Center stage, Cole Harper, paddle in one hand, watermelon vape in his mouth. They called themselves the Forge Frat. Cole and his 4 college buddies who'd all joined HarperForge within a year. Tyler, former A&M teammate, Mason, Bryce, and Logan. All over 6 feet, high and tight haircuts, cowboy boots on Fridays, convinced the company would soon be theirs. They created a private Slack channel, #ForgeFratBros, started with memes. Then it became their playground. Sneak photo of new Indian engineer Arjun on Zoom, caption, Arjun just said, please do the needful for the 47th time today. Photo of Jade Nunez, lead designer, Vietnamese Houstonian, in a dress. Tyler commented, finally, our diversity hire looks hireable. Photo of PM Rachel eating salad at lunch. Rachel counting calories again. Girl, just eat a damn burger. No one dared report. Cole always laughed the loudest, and everyone knew Cole knew people upstairs. Monday stand-ups turned into roast sessions. Cole interrupting engineers, yo bro, speak English, we don't understand Hindi. Sales corner howled. Arjun flushed, smiled weakly, talked faster. Jade sat in the back, knuckles white. The #General channel got hijacked too. Every Friday, party photos from Rainy Street. Cole and the boys with arms around random girls. Caption, Forge boys closing deals and opening tabs. One day, Mason posted an Instagram story zooming on an intern bending over to pick up papers. Fire emoji. It lived 4 minutes before deletion, but screenshots spread through the women's private group chat. New opportunity became the most common exit reason in HR forms. April, Rachel, PM, left. Note, grateful for the opportunity. May, Arjun moved to Meta Austin. No farewell party. June, Jade Nukin submitted resignation, pursuing new challenges. In the Forge, Avery pulled the internal retention dashboard. Blood red line. Sales team turnover 3 times company average. 70% women or people of color. She clicked Jade's exit interview, read the handwritten last line. I loved the product and the mission. I just couldn't breathe here anymore. Avery closed the laptop, opened the pantry security cam. Cole and crew playing beer pong with Truly cans, Mason sinking a shot and yelling, that's how we close deals, baby. She zoomed on Cole's smug, beer-flushed face. Then opened an Excel file titled Termination Candidates Phase 1. 5 names already sat there for 3 months, waiting only for her final signature. She typed a new note. 07-19-2024. Frat click crossed the line. Begin public evidence collection. She saved, shut the screen. Outside, the sun set blood orange behind the Capitol dome, signaling a storm only Avery knew was coming and exactly who it would swallow. October 12, 2024, 6:47 a.m. 32nd floor still dark, only red exit signs glowing. Avery slipped into the women's restroom at the end of the hall, locked the stall, sat on the cold tile. Her hoodie pocket buzzed. New email. From jade.nguyen@harperforge.co. To founder@harperforge.co, the address only one person on earth knew. Subject, thank you and goodbye. 3 pages, Calibri 11, 1.15 spacing, no emojis, no small talk. Avery, I don't know who you are, how old you are, or where in this building you sit. I only know you're the founder, and I've worked here since we were 18 people in an East 6th garage. I stayed because I believed in the product, believed in build better, faster, fairer. I can't stay anymore. I'm Vietnamese, born and raised in Houston, no accent. But ever since Cole Harper and his friends arrived, I became the poster child, diversity hire. Every Monday stand-up, Cole found a way to mention me at least once. Diversity hire looks nice today. Must have had a date with her rich Asian boyfriend last night, huh, Jade? The room laughed. I laughed too, because not laughing got you labeled no sense of humor. One day, Mason asked in front of 25 people, so Jade, did you get hired for the portfolio or the Asian woman quota? I answered both so they'd stop. They laughed harder. Last week, I presented new timeline mock-ups. Cole cut in. Looks like Canva. Guess Asian girls use Canva for nail designs, right? No one defended me. The team lead just chuckled and moved on. I reported to HR twice, anonymously. Both times, we take this seriously and will investigate. Nothing happened. I know why. Cole always says he knows the top guys. Everyone believes him. I'm not important enough to bet my career on. Yesterday, I gave notice. 2 weeks. I'm not writing for justice. I know I won't get it. I'm writing so the founder knows the company you built is dying from the inside because people like Cole are protected and people like me are pushed out. I used to brag to my parents I worked at an Austin unicorn. Now I lie and say I just want something new. Thank you for my first real shot. I'm sorry I won't be here to see HarperForge go public. Jade Nguyen, Employee 0012. Avery's hands shook so hard the phone almost slipped into the toilet. She leaned against the cold metal door, tears rolling silently. Not because Jade was leaving, she'd seen the turnover spike months ago. But for the first time she felt the real cost of her secrecy. She herself had sheltered a bully because he shared her last name. She opened her phone album, scrolled to 2018. Garage, day 1. Jade beside her, eyes shining, both raising Dr. Peppers like trophies. 7 years later, those eyes were dead. Avery wiped her face with her sleeve, hit reply. Jade, I'm Avery Harper. I'm the founder. Cole is my brother. I'm sorry I let you suffer alone. I can't undo the past, but I swear I'll fix the future. Don't leave. Give me 2 months. If nothing changes, I'll personally sign your resignation and give you severance you'll never have to look back. Avery, founder and CEO. She hit send, sat in the dark 10 more minutes. The drip of a faucet kept time with her heartbeat. She whispered, Enough. No more hiding. She stood, opened the door, stepped into the neon white hallway. Avery Harper's first real steps as CEO began right there, in the 32nd floor women's restroom, before Austin had even woken up. Monday, November 20, 2024, 10:15 a.m., Longhorn Conference Room, 28th floor. Avery walked in unrecognizable, long chestnut wig, high-end from Dallas, thick black-framed glasses hiding half her face, wrinkled light blue H&M blouse, cheap black jeans, old Converse. Application name, Lena Walker, using dad's surname. Position, Senior Sales Enablement Manager, a real open role. Inside waited 5 men in a row, Cole in the middle, Tyler, Mason, Bryce, Logan, the exact Forge frat Jade had described. 5 cans of watermelon Truly on the table despite the early hour. Cole glanced at the resume, smirked that Texas golden boy smirk. Hey, Lena, have a seat. We like to get straight to it. Avery sat, made her hands tremble slightly. Perfect acting. She spoke slowly, voice high and hesitant, like someone fresh off the Greyhound from West Texas. Hi, y'all. I followed HarperForge for so long. I heard you're scaling super fast. Cole cut her off instantly. Slow down, sweetheart. We can't keep up. They roared. Mason slapped the table. Cute accent. Lubbock just moved to the big city? Avery gave a shy smile, continued. I have 6 years sales enablement experience at 2 small builders in San Antonio. Tyler jumped in. San Antonio? So you sold tacos and houses to Mexicans? Another roar. Bryce winked. Can you handle the drinking culture here, Lena? Friday beer pong goes till 8. Avery nodded eagerly. Yes, sir. I mostly drink Dr. Pepper, though. The room exploded. Cole pounded the table. Dr. Pepper? Oh my God, she's precious. But we need someone tough. Let me stress test you. Then came the frat house gauntlet. Cole, client calls at 2 a.m. because the software crashed. What do? Before she could answer, Mason, call mommy for help. Cole, or if the team's out drinking and you can't keep up, you just sit in the corner like a houseplant? Tyler in a high-pitched voice, I only drink Dr. Pepper, sir. They laughed until tears came. 45 minutes of public roasting. Every attempt to answer was interrupted with crude jokes or appearance comments. Not one real question about experience. Nobody opened her portfolio. 10:58 a.m., Cole stood, gave her the Alpha Too Hard handshake. Thanks, Lena. We'll be in touch. But honestly, this role might be a little heavy for you. Avery stood, adjusted her glasses, picked up the cheap tote. She walked to the door, then turned back, voice soft as Austin morning breeze. Thank you, gentlemen. I'll remember this interview forever. They lost it. Cole wiping tears. Oh my God, she's adorable. She's gonna cry all night. Tyler, remember? What? Remember how hot we are? Glass door closed, laughter still echoing. But in the hallway, Avery removed the glasses, peeled off the wig, folded it into her black tote. She walked straight to the executive elevator, swiped her card, pressed 32. Alone in the elevator, she stared at her reflection in the polished metal walls. Her lips curved, not the shy smile of Lena Walker, but the cold smile of Avery Harper, CEO of HarperForge. She whispered to her reflection, You'll remember. So will I. Elevator dinged at 32. She stepped out, Louboutin black heels already swapped, long black hair loose down her back. Footsteps rang like a countdown on the marble. That interview wasn't to get hired. It was the verdicts she wrote, read aloud, and would soon personally execute. She opened the door to The Forge, sat at the leather chair, opened her laptop. File, termination packages final, glowed on screen. 5 names highlighted blood red. She hit print. The printer in the corner whirred, spitting white sheets like death warrants. Monday, December 2nd, 2024, 8:57 a.m. Capitol View Room, 32nd floor, Frost Bank Tower. Blinds drawn, door sealed. 22 leather chairs filled, every C-level, VP, and director above. No one knew why they'd been emergency summoned the Monday after Thanksgiving. Only bottled water and one remote sat in front of the empty head chair. 9 o'clock sharp, door opened. Avery Harper walked in wearing a tailored black Milan blazer, hair straight down her back, blood-red Louboutins. No hoodie, no glasses, no wig. She held an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, no straw. The room went dead silent. Only Sarah Mendoza wasn't shocked. She'd been told Sunday night. Avery set the can down, stood at the head, clicked the remote. Giant screen lit up, white text on black. HarperForge, Culture Reset. December 2, 2024. Presented by Avery Harper, founder and CEO. No small talk. Let me introduce myself. I'm Avery Harper. I started this company in 2018 in an East Austin garage. I signed every term sheet, every contract, and every one of your paychecks for the last 6 years. Today is the first day I stand in front of you as your actual CEO. Click. Slide 2. Turnover line. Shooting from 8% in 2022 to 34% in 2024. Slide 3. Sales team, 68%. Slide 4. Women and minorities leaving 4 times faster than white men. Seats started shifting. Slides 10 through 25, Slack screenshots from #ForgeFratBros, creep shots, racist memes, sexual comments. Slides 26 through 35, hidden Glassdoor reviews in red. Frat house disguised as a tech company. Women and minorities are daily punchlines. Leadership ignores it because the bullies close deals. Slide 36, full audio recording of the fake Lena Walker interview. Cole and crew laughing, cutting her off, asking if she could handle beer culture. When it ended with, "I'll remember this interview forever," the room was a tomb. Avery clicked one last time. Slide 42, 4 bullet points, white on blood red. Zero tolerance for frat boy culture, effective immediately. Mandatory anti-harassment and inclusion training for all employees starts this week. Every interview panel must include at least one woman and one minority, no exceptions. Any violation of the new code of conduct equals immediate termination, no warnings, no pips. She looked every person in the eye, slow and deliberate. "I stayed hidden too long thinking secrecy protected the company. Turns out silence was killing it. Today I stop being silent." One final click. Screen switched to 5 names, photos, titles, start dates, end dates blank. Cole Harper, Senior Account Executive, terminated 12/2/2024. And the 4 others. Voice flat, cold enough to make the AC redundant. These 5 will be escorted out within the hour. Severance is ready, NDA signed. My door is open all day if anyone has questions. Not a cough. Only the faint hiss when she lifted her Dr. Pepper and took a long drink. Then she smiled, the first smile of the meeting. Welcome to the new HarperForge. We build better, faster, and above all, fairer. Thank you. Now let's get to work. She walked out, leaving 21 people frozen as December Austin sunlight hit the screen still blazing red. Zero tolerance starts now. Monday, December 2, 2024, 9 a.m. sharp. The Forge, 32nd floor. Marcus Delgado, 48, head of operations and employee since the 35-person days, knocked on time. Gray suit, longhorn tie, thinking he was there to plan Q1. Avery sat behind the walnut desk, a 3-inch dossier and fresh Dr. Pepper in front of her. "Sit, Marcus." He grinned. "Powerful morning, Avery. Proud of you." Avery didn't smile back. She slid the dossier across. "Every anonymous harassment report you marked investigate later or low priority for 2 years. Exit interviews of 41 people. 38 mentioned sales culture. Email you sent HR. Don't blow this up. Cole's team closes 28% revenue." Marcus went ash white. "You chose to look away for 2 years. Today, I look for you." She slid one sheet of paper. Termination letter, effective immediately. Reason, willful blindness and failure to uphold company values. Severance, 6-month salary plus health insurance through June 2025. Marcus stammered, "Avery, you can't. I was here from the garage." "That's why you get 6 months. Everyone else gets 3. Security waited outside. Marcus stood, shoulders sagging like he'd aged a decade. Walked out without another word. 10:27 a.m. Longhorn Conference Room, 28th floor. 5 men filed in. Tyler, Mason, Bryce, Logan, and finally, Cole. Denim shirts, cowboy boots, hung over from Thanksgiving weekend, thinking they were there for praise on a big closed deal. Avery stood at the head, arms crossed, Sarah Mendoza and 2 large security guards behind her. Giant screen showed 5 termination letters with photos. "You are all terminated, effective immediately." Reason, repeated code of conduct violations, hostile work environment, harassment. Tyler scoffed, "You're joking. We're top performers." Avery clicked. The full Lena Walker recording played. Every laugh, every crude comment, every diversity hire joke. 5 faces drained of color. The first 4 were escorted out cursing and slamming fists, but security simply guided them away. 10:49 a.m. Only the Harper siblings remained. Cole stood shaking, eyes red from shock and leftover bourbon. "Avery, you're really the founder?" She nodded, voice soft as breeze. "Yeah, you used to call me a failure who'd live off mom and dad forever. Guess who's unemployed now?" Cole staggered back like he'd been punched. "Mom, does Mom know?" Avery's smile carried a bitter edge. "Not yet. She'll find out at Christmas when you can't afford gifts on your own paycheck for the first time in your life." She slid the final folder. 3 months severance, no year-end bonus, no stock options. Cole's hands shook holding it. "You can't do this to me. We're blood." Avery stepped close, voice low enough only he heard. "Blood isn't a shield to hurt others. You turned my company into your frat house. I'm just cleaning." She pressed the desk bell. Security opened the door. Cole walked out, shoulders slumped, $1,200 Lucchese boots dragging like house slippers across the marble. When the door shut, Avery finally sat and exhaled the longest breath of the day. She opened her phone, texted Jade Nguyen. "It's done. Can you come home?" 3 seconds later. "I never really left, boss." Avery smiled, real this time. She raised her Dr. Pepper and drank deep. Texas Swede had never tasted better. Monday night, December 2, 7:42 p.m. The Harper house glowed like early Christmas. Diane stood in the living room clutching her phone, tears pouring, repeating one sentence on loop. "You ungrateful child. Avery, you're an ungrateful disgrace." Cole slumped on the brown leather sofa, half a bottle of Jim Beam gone, eyes glassy. He had just finished his drunken, embellished retelling. "She's been jealous since we were kids. This is revenge." Diane had immediately FaceTimed Avery. The screen showed Avery calm in the forge, desk lamp casting cool light on her face. "What is it, Mom?" Avery asked evenly. Diane screamed. "You fired your brother. You fired his friends. You want to destroy this family? I raised you for this? Ungrateful. I no longer have a daughter." Avery didn't flinch. "Mom, Cole and his friends created a toxic workplace for 2 years. We have recordings, screenshots, 40 people quit because of them. I gave him more chances than anyone." Diane wailed louder. "Chances? They were joking. Boys will be boys. You're his sister. You protect family. I'd rather have no daughter than one like you." Cole snatched the phone, face crimson with rage and liquor. "Who the hell do you think you are firing me? I'll sue you. I've got lawyers. Just wait." Avery smiled faintly. "Go ahead." "Let me send you some reading first." She shared her screen. Google Drive folder. Evidence, Cole Harper and Associates. Over 300 files, Slack messages, voice clips, creep shots, exit interviews, the Lena Walker recording, ignored HR emails, and finally, a letter from Cooley LLP, the Silicon Valley firm HarperForge hired at Series B. Key paragraph. Any legal action against HarperForge or Miss Avery Harper will be met with immediate counterclaim for damages, harassment, and breach of NDA. We are prepared to proceed in Travis County District Court. Cole killed the call, face ghost white. Diane kept sobbing, voice shrinking. Rick, silent in his old leather recliner all night, finally spoke, voice gravelly from cigarettes and decades of quiet. "Diane, enough." The house went still. Rick rarely strung more than one sentence together per evening. He looked straight into the camera, straight at Avery. "You gave Cole more chances than he ever deserved. When he flunked out of A&M, you paid for him to try again. He didn't. When he wrecked his truck last year, you paid the insurance. When he lost every job, you found him the next one. He's 33, acting like a freshman. You did right. Diane's jaw dropped. Rick, that's our son. Rick sighed, stood, turned off the replaying Cowboys game. That's exactly why he needed teaching. If we wouldn't, Avery did. She built a billion-dollar company and never once asked us to notice. We should be proud, not crying. He faced the camera, voice low but firm. Daughter, I'm sorry I stayed quiet too long. I'm proud of you. On the other side of the screen, Avery's eyes welled for the first time that day. She just nodded, unable to speak. Cole bolted up, stormed out, boots slamming hardwood. Diane chased after him, still crying. Cole, baby, don't go. Front door slammed. Only Rick remained, staring at the darkened phone. Avery whispered, "Thank you, Dad." Rick nodded once. "Come home for New Year's. I'm smoking brisket." Call ended. In the forge, Avery sat still a long time. Her phone buzzed with desperate texts from Cole over the last 10 minutes. 7:49 p.m. Cole, Avery, I'm sorry, it was just jokes. 7:52 p.m. Let me come back, I'll change. 7:55 p.m. Whatever you want, I'll do it, please. She replied with one attachment, the lawyer letter plus full evidence folder. No words. She turned off the light, stood, looked out at the glittering Austin skyline. For the first time in her life, two people in the Harper house stood on her side, her and her father. The rest would have to learn to grow up on their own. 3 months later, March 2025, Austin Spring, bluebonnets painting the highways purple. HarperForge looked reborn. 28th floor glass walls now read, "Build better, be better." Pantry smelled of fresh coffee and Dr. Pepper instead of cheap seltzer. Rumor was the CEO is addicted to Dr. Pepper. Turnover dropped 70%. Glassdoor soared from 2.8 to 4.6 in 90 days. Texas Tech record. Forbes 30 Under 30 Austin issue sold out the day it hit stands. Cover photo, Avery on the Frost Tower rooftop, hair whipping in the wind, silver Dr. Pepper can in hand. Caption, "Build in silence, revealed when necessary." She no longer had a hidden office. Her desk sat in the open on 32, right beside design. New hires were warned. If you see a woman in a black hoodie drinking Dr. Pepper, don't ask for an autograph. That's the boss. Jade Nguyen returned in January as head of design, leading 28 people who no longer dare joke about diversity hires. Cole and his crew vanished from Austin. Word was he moved back with Diane, selling used cars in San Marcos, commission only. The Harper family stopped calling Avery. Diane deleted her number, changed her Facebook profile to an old photo of Cole in his quarterback uniform. Yet every month, Diane's account still received a silent $5,000 transfer from AH. Only Rick texted every Sunday, a photo of him smoking brisket, caption, "Still got room at the pit, doors open." Evening of March 28, 2025. Avery sat alone on the rooftop of her new mid-century house in Travis Heights, paid cash after Series C. All of Austin spread below. Pink Capitol Dome, glowing Congress Bridge, Darrell K. Royal lights still on for spring game. Black hoodie, feet on the railing, ice-cold Dr. Pepper in hand. Spring breeze carried wildflowers and distant barbecue smoke. She opened her phone, texted Jade. "Thank you for giving me courage. Today's HarperForge exists because of you." Instant scene. Jade replied with one emoji, orange longhorn heart. Avery smiled, looked up at the star-drenched Texas sky. She opened voice memo, recorded a short message to herself and to millions who would one day hear her story. Sometimes protecting family isn't covering for them. Sometimes it's forcing them to grow up, even if they hate you forever. I stayed quiet 7 years, building an empire no one knew about. Then I spoke once and lost part of my family. But I found another, the ones who stayed, who believed we could be better, who deserved kindness. I don't need my picture on my parents' fridge anymore. Because every day I walk into work, hundreds of people smile at me and mean it. That's the biggest fridge I've ever had. She stopped recording, saved it as to whoever needs to hear this.mp3. Then she raised her Dr. Pepper to the glowing city beneath her feet. Austin roared on, growing wild and loud. But tonight, for the first time in 29 years, Avery Harper finally felt like she was home. She whispered into the night wind. This is for every quiet kid told they were just the smart one. Your silence isn't weakness. It's the sound of you building something they'll never see coming. She drank the last swallow, set the empty can on the railing. City lights reflected in her eyes, no longer the girl silently enduring Thanksgiving dinner, but the woman who chose to stand up once and changed everything forever.